Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a closer look at Jim Rohn.
Yeah, specifically, his ideas from that YouTube video have a solid plan. It was aimed at teens and adults.
Right, and he wasn't just, some motivational speaker. He actually spent years lecturing in high schools, universities.
Places where people are actively learning, trying to figure things out.
Exactly. And the core idea, the thing we really want to unpack today, is his promise. If you will change, everything will change for you.
It sounds simple, but it's pretty profound when you think about it.
Totally. And it wasn't just theory for him, was it?
Not at all. Think about his background. Grew up on a farm in Idaho.
Dropped out of college.
And by 25, he was really struggling. Bills piling up, barely any money. He mentions pennies in his pocket.
So he knew what it felt like to be stuck.
Definitely. Which makes his turnaround even more interesting. He met a mentor, Mr. Shoaff.
Ah, the mentor. That seems to be a key moment.
Absolutely pivotal. Shoaff shared ideas with him over about 5 years that, well, turned his life around.
And that's what we want to get into today, right?
Yep.
Those key subjects Shoaff taught him.
Exactly. We're going to focus on 3 big ones. Personal development, setting goals, and financial independence.
Okay, let's start with that first one then, personal development. Where did Shoaff begin with that?
Well, interestingly, he started with economics. The basic idea was we get paid for bringing value to the marketplace.
Value, not just time. That's a big distinction.
It really is. It's not about clocking in and out. It's about what you contribute.
So Shoaff posed this question, didn't he, about increasing your value?
Yeah, like, is it possible to become twice as valuable and make twice as much money in the same time?
And the answer was?
A definite yes. Ron talked about this ladder of income from, minimum wage way up to millions. The difference, value provided.
But he was careful to clarify what value meant here, right?
Yes, very important point. He wasn't saying some people are intrinsically worth less. Everyone has equal human value.
It was about economic value. Value to the marketplace.
Precisely. Something that can be changed, developed. It's not fixed.
Which leads directly to Shoaff's big piece of advice.
Ah, yes. The core of it. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job.
That really makes you stop and think.
Yeah.
We focus so much on the job itself.
But the real leverage, according to Ron and Shoaff, is self-investment, improving you.
And Ron saw the results firsthand. Better skills, better communication.
Led to international opportunities. It completely changed his trajectory.
Okay, so how did Ron suggest we actually do this personal development? He broke it down, didn't he?
He did. 3 main ways. First, learn from your own personal experience.
Looking back, analyzing what worked, what didn't.
Yeah, being honest with yourself. Shoaff was apparently quite blunt with Ron about his lack of progress early on.
Like stop doing what isn't working. Simple, but hard to do sometimes.
Very. The second way was learning from OPE, other people's experiences.
OPE. I like that acronym.
Me too. And he said this was a big motivator for him making the video. You can learn from failures.
Even though failed people don't usually give seminars, as he joked.
Right. But you can also learn from successful people. Look at those who have what you want. Health, skills, income.
How do you learn from them?
Observation, listening, like lectures, talks, even sermons, and crucially, reading.
The books. He mentioned specific ones that were huge for him.
He did. The Bible, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. Foundational stuff for him.
Okay, personal experience, other people's experience.
Mm-hmm.
What was the third way?
Keeping a journal. Actually writing things down.
Not just random notes on scraps of paper.
No, he emphasized a bound journal, a place to capture ideas, insights, quotes, something you build over time.
Imagine looking back at that years later, a record of your own growth.
Exactly. It consolidates the learning. So those 3 things, learning from self, learning from others, and documenting it, that's the path.
And it all loops back to that main idea.
If you will change, everything will change for you. It puts the power squarely in your hands.
Okay, that's a solid look at personal development. Now let's shift to the second area. Setting goals. Seems like the logical next step.
It really does. If you're working on yourself, you need a target, right? A direction.
And Ron talked about attitude here too, didn't he? Towards the past and future.
Yeah, he said view the past as your school. Learn from it, don't live in it.
And the future?
The future is the promise. Something to design, to look forward to with anticipation, not dread.
Makes sense. So how did he suggest setting goals? Was it complicated?
Surprisingly simple, actually. First step, decide what you want. Be specific.
Across different areas. Skills, money, travel.
All of it. Then critically, write it down. Make a physical list.
And he had a tip about keeping the old lists.
Yeah, don't throw them away. Keep them. It gives you perspective on how far you've come.
That's a great idea. And the last step.
Check things off when you achieve them. Add some drama, make it fun, celebrate the wins.
I like that. So the clarity of the goal is important.
Hugely important. He had this great line, if the future gets clear, the price gets easier.
The price meaning the effort, the discipline required.
Exactly. When you know why you're putting in the work itself feels less burdensome.
And he believed anyone could pay that price,
Yeah.
right? Regardless of where they start.
Absolutely. It's about commitment, not circumstance. But the reason for setting goals was even more profound for Shoaff.
What was that?
He said the main reason to set goals is for what they make of you in achieving them.
So it's not just about getting the thing.
No, it's about the person you become in the process. The growth.
He used the millionaire example, didn't he?
Yeah. Becoming a millionaire isn't just about the $1 million. It's about developing the skills, the discipline, the knowledge, the character required to earn $1 million.
That reframes it completely. It's about the journey shaping you.
Precisely. Though he also warned against goals that are too easy, or worse, goals that compromise your values.
So aim high, but stay true to yourself.
That's the essence of it. Challenging ethical goals that foster growth.
Okay, personal development leads to setting meaningful goals, which then brings us naturally to the third piece.
Financial independence. Making sure your financial life supports your goals and growth.
How did Ron define that?
Simply as the ability to live from the income of your own personal resources, not needing a job, essentially.
And he thought this was achievable for most people.
Yes, he suggested a time frame of maybe 15 to 35 years, around 20 years or so.
And if you haven't achieved it by then?
He argued it's likely not the country or your circumstances, but your plan. Your financial plan is probably flawed.
And he was living proof, going from broke to financially independent himself.
In 6 years, because he changed his plan, which really highlights the importance of your underlying philosophy about money.
Philosophy, how so?
He described it as your ability to gather knowledge, sift through it, and decide what's valuable, your core beliefs about money.
And he contrasted two philosophies.
Right. The philosophy of the poor, he said, tends to be get money, spend it, and maybe invest what's left.
Versus the rich.
Their philosophy generally is get money, invest or save a portion first, and then spend what's left over. The order matters.
And the philosophy is more important than the amount you start with.
That was his key point. It's the habit, the principle, that makes the difference long term.
He had that simple dollar philosophy too, right? Even for kids.
Yeah, the 701 Ever 101 Route 10 plan. It's brilliant in its simplicity.
Okay, break that down. For every dollar.
70 cents is the maximum you should spend. Live on 70% or less.
10 cents.
Charity. Giving back. He's stressed starting this habit when the amounts are small builds character.
Makes sense. The next 10 cents.
Active capital. Money you use to start a business, buy something to fix and sell, invest actively to make a profit.
Like his wagon example. Buy it cheap, fix it, sell it higher.
Exactly. Creating value, generating profit. He emphasized profits are better than wages because wages have limits, profits potentially don't.
And the final 10 cents?
Passive capital. Put it to work in financial institutions, earning interest. Let others use it while it grows for you. Compounding.
And becoming the lender, not the borrower.
That was a key principle. The borrower is servant to the lender. Aim to be the lender.
This 701101010, it's a concrete plan anyone could try to follow.
It really is, and it touches on broader ideas too, like capital ownership, individuals controlling capital versus the state.
Right. But he also stressed attitude towards money matters, didn't he? Beyond just the plan.
Oh, absolutely, like how you feel about paying bills.
Instead of hating it.
See it as reducing your liabilities, increasing your net worth, a positive step.
And taxes, always a fun topic.
Right. Instead of just hating taxes, try to see it as feeding the goose that lays the golden eggs, contributing to the system that allows wealth creation.
Doesn't mean you can't work to lower them legally, though.
No, not at all. You can work within the system, but fulfill your obligation with a better attitude.
Okay, so we've covered the three pillars. Personal development, setting goals, and financial independence. Powerful stuff.
Really practical, life-changing ideas if applied.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, we really hope unpacking Jim Rohn's wisdom here gives you some valuable takeaways.
Yeah, the hope is you'll start thinking about how these apply to your life. Maybe set some goals, look at your financial plan.
Or just commit to working a bit harder on yourself.
Definitely. And Ron left people with these 4 questions to sort of chew on.
Right. The questions to ponder. What were they again?
First, why work so hard? His implied answer. For the opportunity, for the growth.
Second.
Why not see how much you can achieve? Like, test your own limits.
Love
Like,
that. Third.
why not you? If others can do it, why not you? Very empowering.
And the final, most action-oriented one.
Why not now? What are you waiting for?
Powerful questions indeed. A great place to leave it.
We hope this discussion has sparked some ideas for you.
And maybe we'll hear about your progress down the line. Until our next deep dive, thanks for listening.